So the Eagles got a thrilling win over the Commanders in which A.J. Brown went crazy as he broke an insane NFL record, but he's already moved on and is locked in on Dallas. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts played his best game of the year as he lit up the Commanders' defense despite battling a knee injury, which it has been revealed that the injury may actually be lingering on. Plus, new safety Kevin Byard called out the Eagles' defense after a bad performance in which multiple guys really struggled, and Eagles running back Kenneth Gainwell really struggled as well, and he apparently was clapping back at fans in his Instagram DMs during halftime. Meanwhile, Nick Sirianni and the Eagles are clearly unsatisfied with their performance, and Sirianni had a crucial message for the team after the game. And finally, Howie Roseman is set for a very busy couple days, with an NFL insider revealing that the GM is expected to try and make one more big move before the deadline. So we're going to talk about all that and more in this video today, so let's not waste any time and get straight into it. So heading into their Week 8 matchup with the Commanders, the Birds knew this would be a tough test, as Washington always seems to play them very well, and Nick Sirianni made that clear to the team beforehand, saying that they were going to get the Commanders' best effort, and they definitely did. So good thing Sirianni also delivered a powerful message to the team before the game, emphasizing the importance of believing in yourself, and more importantly, your teammates, highlighting Michael Jordan's pass to set up Steve Kerr for the game winner in the 1997 NBA Finals, and that proved to be a very effective message and one that helped the Birds team to fight through adversity during the course of this game. And that adversity hit them very early, as after both offenses struggled out of the gate, the Commanders wasted no time on their second drive, going 62 yards on just 3 plays in less than a minute, and capping off the drive with a 26-yard touchdown pass from Sam Howell to scary Terry McClaurin, who toasted James Bradberry and went up over the top of him for the score. So just like that, the Eagles were already in a hole, and an injured Jalen Hurts and the offense were then asked to respond. As despite the Birds downplaying Hurts' injury all week, it's still very much a problem that's affecting him, as on the Fox broadcast, Jay Glazer revealed before the game the specifics of Hurts' injury, as he said that he's been dealing with a bone bruise on his knee that's been bothering him for around 4 weeks, adding that he re-aggravated the injury during the Miami game. So safe to say Hurts was dealing with adversity not just in this game, but also for around the past month. But despite this, you know Hurts isn't about to make excuses, as he came out and led the Eagles on a long 11-play drive that took 5 minutes off the clock. The unfortunate part is that it stalled out in Washington territory, so the Eagles then had to settle for a 51-yard field goal that Jake Elliott drilled. Then just like that, Sam Howell, who apparently turns into Patrick Mahomes every time he plays the Eagles, was back out on the field, and he led the Commanders on another brilliant drive, eating up chunk plays and exposing what's supposed to be a stacked Eagles secondary, including new safety Kevin Byard, who led up a big catch to Logan Thomas on 3rd down, and Byard honestly didn't look very good in his Eagles debut. Now I do think it's important that we cut him some slack because he did just get here last week, but Byard certainly doesn't see that as an excuse.
I mean, obviously this is your first game and stuff, so you know, with the Eagles, so like you would think like some of that would be excusable.
What do you mean excusable?
Like, you know, new team, first game and everything.
Nah. We're professional football players. You know what I mean? You're supposed to make the hard look easy. So just because I came here on a Tuesday and practice the next day doesn't make me exempt from, you know, not going out there and putting out a good product. That's just what it is. Yeah, we're not going to have any excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there needs to be a standard for all of us.
So I love this from Byard. That's exactly what you want to hear from your vets. He's holding himself accountable, and that's what you need to do to get better, and I have no doubt that he will get better as he gets more comfortable in this defense. Just as a whole though, the secondary did have a really bad day, and that continued when the drive was capped off with a 21-yard pass over the middle to Jahan Dotson, who beat Sidney Brown for a touchdown, and the Eagles were now in a very tough position, already being down 11 points early in the second quarter. So Hurts and the offense then went right back out to try and respond, and they had a fantastic drive with several key 3rd down conversions for big gains to A.J. Brown, who we're going to talk a lot more about later, but the drive unfortunately ended catastrophically in the red zone when the Birds were literally inside the 5-yard line, with Kenneth Gainwell fumbling after getting the handoff and turning the ball over, leaving the Eagles with no points to show for their efforts. Now at this point, I think many Eagle fans are done with Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, he's been out on the field so much, and he barely has any production to show for it, and specifically here in the red zone, why in the world is he in there instead of DeAndre Swift, who's proven to be a weapon specifically in that area of the field? I mean, I still don't understand it. Unfortunately, it seems like Nick Sirianni and the coaching staff are still very high on Gainwell, and he's not in danger of losing any snaps.
We don't ever lose faith in Kenny. He had a fumble, and if Jalen has an interception, we don't take him out. If Kenny has a fumble, we don't take him out. If I'd have done that with AJ last year when he had a couple 3 games in a row with a fumble, that'd have been dumb. So we, we trust him.
I mean, to be fair, this is what a coach is supposed to say, so I understand, but come on, Gainwell clearly isn't on the level of Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown, and DeAndre Swift has proven to be a much better option than Gainwell, especially in that area of the field, and after you make a mistake like that, you at least gotta consider making some sort of change if you're the coaches. Plus, it seems that Gainwell's head may have not been in the right spot after that mistake, as this screenshot was leaked to social media of a fan DMing Gainwell after the fumble, calling him a bum, and Kenny apparently responded at halftime. I mean, come on, man. You can't do that. Sure, I understand a lot of players probably go on their phones at halftime, which is completely fine, but if you're responding to DMs from fans who are just trolling you, your head cannot be in the right spot at that point. You're not locked into what you're supposed to be locked in on, and Sirianni kind of echoed that on Monday when he was asked about it, and he did say that the coaching staff talked to Gainwell about it, and he said that Gainwell knows he made a mistake by responding to it, but still, regardless of that, I really do think a change needs to be made in regards to Gainwell's playing time, and this is coming from someone who was a big supporter of Kenny Gainwell and him getting a lot of touches this year in the offseason, but just based on what we've seen from him and DeAndre Swift so far this season, I really think you just gotta make the change at this point. Now, good thing the defense actually held up and bailed Gainwell out on the next drive, with Bradberry making really his only one good play of the day, getting a pass breakup on 4th down on what really should have been a pick, but nonetheless, it got the Birds the ball back with just under 2 minutes left in the half, and they went on to execute a perfect 7-play drive, with a couple big plays to DeVonta Smith before it ended in arguably the touchdown catch of the year in the NFL that went to A.J. Brown as he hauled in this insane contested one-handed catch. I mean, oh my gosh, what a play that was from A.J. Brown, and I feel like it was at this point that we should have known that A.J. Brown was going to go on to do something special in this game. More on that later. Now, the Eagles at this point had made it a 14-10 game with about 30 seconds left to go in the half, but once again, the defense couldn't do their job here, as they allowed Washington to go 32 yards in 33 seconds to get in field goal range, where Joey Slye drilled a 61-yarder to make it 17-10 at halftime. So at this point, the Eagles were clearly in a battle, and it only intensified in the second half. And don't worry, we're going to get to that in just a minute here, but real quick, if you are finding this video informative or entertaining in any sort of way, make sure you go down and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss when any other videos just like this are uploaded in the future. Around 80% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed, so if you're one of those people and you are enjoying the videos, make sure you go fix that right now. I think that's a win-win for the both of us. Now with that being said, let's get back into the video. So the good news is the Eagles had a chance to go answer right away in the second half and tie the game. The bad news is that after a really nice opening drive to the second half that included some nice runs and then a questionable pass interference call on A.J. Brown in the end zone to get the Birds to the 1-yard line, the Eagles offense did something that nobody expected, because of course now that they're on the 1, everyone knows the brotherly shove is coming and there's no way they're getting stopped. Or so we thought, as Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball and the Commanders recovered it on this play, making this the second time the Birds have given the ball away inside their opponent's 5-yard line in this game.
Oh my God!
I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. This was really, really bad. Mistakes like these are what loses you games in the NFL. Luckily, the defense gave the offense another chance after Fletcher Cox blew up this screen on 3rd down, and from there, the offense said, okay, enough of this, and they went down the field on a very interesting drive that featured this 4th down catch by DeVonta Smith, which replay revealed it actually wasn't really a catch. Luckily, the Eagles got to the line quickly and snapped the ball, as they caught Ron Rivera sleeping as he missed his chance to throw the challenge flag. So, great job by the Eagles there to be prepared and get to the line quickly, which I'm sure was made harder by the fact that Jalen took a hit on that play, and it sure looked like he was feeling the effects of his injury at that moment. I mean, there's no doubt Jalen was out there battling. He was clearly in some discomfort for pretty much this entire game, but it didn't stop him from putting up his best performance of the season. And it was also later revealed that Jalen Hurts received an hour of treatment immediately after the game on his knee, so it's safe to say Hurts was fighting out there on that field, and DeAndre Swift couldn't agree more.
It really seemed like Jalen was favoring the knee a little bit out there at times. What did you make of the way he played in his performance?
Warrior. I ain't seen really favoring. I seen him doing what he needed to do for us to win, making plays as he always does. Tough.
Now, I think it's great that Jalen is earning more and more respect from his teammates by playing through injury, although I do have to admit, it is slightly concerning that it seems to be lingering on, so hopefully the bye week after this next game allows him to get healthy, but until then, we'll just have to take Hurts' word and assume he's fine. I mean, he certainly looked okay a couple plays after that, throwing a nice D pass to A.J. Brown on 3rd and 7, where Brown made a great play, positioning himself perfectly to go up over 2 defenders and come down with a contested touchdown for his second score of the day, which tied the game at 17. Unfortunately, Washington answered yet again, going on a long 14-play, 7-minute drive with Howell picking apart the secondary yet again, particularly having success targeting Reed Blankenship, who was surprisingly having a really rough game, and then Howell ended off the drive going at Blankenship once again as he zipped a pass in to Logan Thomas in the end zone past the outstretched arms of Blankenship to give the Commanders the lead back once again in the fourth quarter. And really, like I said earlier, the entire secondary just had a bad day. I mean, it wasn't just Blankenship, Bradberry was also really bad, and Byard, like I said, in his Eagles debut, wasn't great either. Now, the good thing is they realize it, and Kevin Byard actually called out the secondary after the game, saying they just need to be better.
You know, obviously I just got here this week, but the way that game ended, I would never apologize, and I think we should never apologize for winning this league. It's very hard to do. But as a secondary back seven, we have to be better, like 100%. Like, you know, I don't think we were clean enough, and that's myself included. You know what I mean? Like, that's me as a leader, it's myself included. But we have to be better if we want to make sure that, you know, we're going to, take this journey all the way to where we want to go. We have to be clean on the back end.
Now, I love this from Byard. Again, it seems he's already establishing himself as a leader here and helping to hold the entire unit on the back end accountable so they can bounce back from this rough performance. So after the touchdown, it was then the offense's turn to respond, and A.J. Brown certainly answered the call early in the drive, getting a big 17-yard gain on a 2nd and long and setting a crazy NFL record in the process, as with that catch, he went over 125 yards for the day, making that his 6th straight game hitting that benchmark, which is the longest streak in NFL history, beating out the previous mark of 5 games that was held by Calvin Johnson. Now, this was amazing. AJ's honestly playing like the best receiver in the NFL right now, and nobody can seem to stop him, and it's honestly just a great accomplishment to set this record, but AJ said he's not satisfied, nor is he stopping to sit back and admire his accomplishment.
To have that spot in history, does that resonate with you?
Not at all, not yet, because I'm still working. I think it'll be a time where I sit down and I'll be like go AJ, but it's not it right now. We got a big matchup, got Dallas. From what I hear, they had a good game, and we got to clean up some stuff, and we got to go to work. It's going to be a war. So
that's the mindset you need from your stars right there. And I'm sure that dog mentality of just moving on to the next play or the next day or the next game has been one of the big reasons AJ's been able to have so much success in the first place. Getting back to that drive, though, the Eagles continued marching, getting a big completion to Dallas Goedert on a 3rd down, and then Hurts found a wide open DeVonta Smith for a 38-yard touchdown to tie the game up. So then it was back on the defense as we started to get into the guts of the fourth quarter, and after struggling throughout the entire game, one key member of the secondary bounced back and made a big play as Reed Blankenship, after letting up a touchdown on the previous drive, came up with a massive interception on Sam Howell to set the Eagles offense up in the red zone. I mean, this was just clutch. It was a game-changing play by Reed, and after the game, he revealed how he was able to bounce back after struggling all day.
And one of our main things is belief, and honestly, I take this game kind of personal. Didn't get a lot of my job done today. But at the end of the day, you got to go back and fix your mistakes, but win's a win.
Where'd you find the resolve to get the interception?
Like I said, belief. Kind of played with my eyes, and then had everybody on the sideline kind of believe, tell me, just shake everything off. Just go back out there and just play.
So I love what Blankenship said here. He definitely held himself accountable, and he seems really dissatisfied in his performance, but despite that, he was still able to put the bad plays during the course of the game behind him and come through with a huge play that changed the game, and he cited that message of belief as something that really helped him to do that. So big thumbs up for Reed being able to bounce back and make that play, which then led to another game-changing play that's sure to put a smile on your face, because in a tie game in the fourth quarter, the Eagles turned to Julio Jones as Hurts threw a laser to the NFL legend between 2 defenders, and he came down with it for a touchdown that gave the Birds a 31-24 advantage. Man, it was just so cool to see Julio catching a touchdown pass for the Eagles, and it was even cooler to see the reaction of his teammates. I mean, everyone was just so happy for him, and you love to see that team chemistry on display, so let's hope that Julio can keep making more plays for the Birds as the season goes on, and he gets more comfortable in the offense. And for Jalen Hurts, this was a huge play as well, as this was his 4th touchdown pass on the day, making it just his 2nd game in his career where he has accomplished that, and Jalen also threw for over 300 yards and a 76.3% completion percentage on the day, and also he had a 135 passer rating, and he did all of this while dealing with that knee injury. So, I mean, overall, just what a day for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense. But then moving on, the Eagles defense was able to get another stop, although it was more Washington with self-inflicted mistakes. as Terry McClaurin had a couple uncharacteristic drops, including one on 4th down, and then the Eagles got the ball back, but the Commanders were able to stay in the game by forcing a punt, but then Sam Howell and that offense were shut down once again, with their final hope being ended by Haason Reddick as he got the Eagles' first sack of the game on Sam Howell and actually stripped him in the process. So Reddick's clutch play gave the Eagles the ball back, where they were able to put the final nail in the coffin, as they faked their famous brotherly shove on 3rd and 7, instead opting for a brotherly sweep of sorts to DeAndre Swift, who took it in for a score to essentially end the game. Now the Commanders then did score on the next drive, but the defense was just hanging back, trying not to get beat deep, and the Commanders' true final hope was on their onside kick, which DeVonta Smith recovered, and the game was then over. So the Eagles then officially had advanced to 7-1 on the year, making that good for the sole best record in the NFL after a Chiefs loss to the Broncos, and they also remain atop the NFC. I mean, overall, what a crazy game. I mean, it was definitely exciting to watch, there's no questioning that, and what a nice hard-fought win by this Eagles team. Sure, it wasn't perfect, and the Eagles know that, and they know they have to be better moving forward, and Nick Sirianni actually had a very important message regarding that after the game.
The turnovers we gotta cut out, that's big right there, but yeah, it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't pretty at all. Now, this is the National Football League, and it's tough to win games. We came into it a road game and ended up winning. But we have a lot of work to do to make sure that we're continuing to climb. In this league, it's you have to be mentally tough to treat the walkthrough, to treat the meeting, to treat the practice the exact same way as you treat it after a win, after a loss, after week 1, after week 4, after week whatever we're in right now. And I know we got the right guys in that locker room to make sure we're getting better.
So again, sure, the Eagles didn't play their best game, but they're still continuing to climb. This team has not reached its ceiling yet, they haven't played their best ball yet, but as long as they keep improving like they've been, and they keep emphasizing fixing the things that they need to fix, they will be just fine moving forward. I mean, we really can't complain. We're sitting with the best record in the NFL right now, with arguably the most talented roster in the NFL as well. Although it looks like Howie Roseman may not be done adding talent just yet, as Diana Rossini, who was right about her claims last week ahead of the Kevin Byard trade, reported that, quote, "The Eagles want to make another move even after adding safety and 5-time Titans captain Kevin Byard. I expect Howie Roseman to be busy Monday morning. He's poking around at linebacker." So I guess we'll see if a big move happens or not. Obviously Monday morning has came and went, and no trade has went down, but as of Monday night, Howie Roseman did make a move, sending defensive tackle Kentavius Street to the Atlanta Falcons, and also a 2025 7th round pick in exchange for a 2024 conditional 6th round pick. So that's not too notable of a move. Street really hadn't contributed too much to the Eagles this year, but what it does do is it frees up a roster spot, and now there's a new report coming out saying that Howie Roseman is specifically targeting one more pass rusher ahead of the NFL trade deadline, so maybe this move is to clear up a spot for whoever they want to bring in. Now, who is that? I don't know, but it definitely seems like Howie can make a move at any minute. And then just to finish this off here, Eagles star defensive tackle and rookie Jalen Carter sustained a back injury against the Commanders, but Nick Sirianni did say he was feeling a lot better on Monday, and it seems like he will practice this week, so that's definitely good news. But I'll still make sure to keep you guys updated on that, as well as other news that comes out this week ahead of the Eagles vs. Cowboys game, so if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And also, just let me know your final thoughts on the Eagles win over the Commanders. I know it was a lot, but give me all your opinions down in the comments. And also, do you think Howie's going to make a move or not? And also, if you just did enjoy this video and want to show some support, make sure you go down and drop a like on it right now. And if you want to watch another Eagles video, you should go check this out right here. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.